Chris and I are spending a month in the Dominican Republic. We've based ourselves in Las Terrenas on the north end of the island and are taking small trips from there. Over our last few weeks here as slow travelers and digital nomads, we've learned a few things and have had a few surprises. Here are 12 things to know before you come. We've taken our slow travel lifestyle to Las Terrenas in the Dominican Republic. Here are 12 things we learned during our time here. Number 1. It's way more expensive here than we anticipated. We just spent the last few months in the much less expensive country of Argentina, so coming here was a bit of a shock to our budget. A little yogurt at the grocery store was over $3 in Santo Domingo, and even more expensive in Las Terrenas. We did an entire video on pricing here, so be sure to check that out. But one thing to know is that you should expect prices to be similar to what you might find in Canada and the US. I've also learned that I have to be careful about getting overcharged for things. For example, last week I was buying 2 bottles of water at a colmado, which is what they call corner stores around here. The cashier told me it would be 50 pesos. My local Dominican friend overheard the price and told the cashier to charge me the correct amount. Turns out I should have only been charged 40 pesos. That time it wasn't such a huge difference, but it can be much more. Number 2, you can't drink the tap water. This is pretty typical of a lot of places. And fortunately, it was easy for us to get water delivered to our apartment in Las Terrenas whenever we needed it. We washed our dishes and took showers with the tap water, but used bottled water for all of our drinking and for brushing our teeth. Number 3. Semana Santa, or Holy Week, right around Easter weekend, is a huge holiday in the Dominican Republic. We were here that week and everyone travels around the country. The roads get very busy and the prices for apartment rentals go way up. If you're here during that time, you'll need to plan ahead and stock up on your groceries before the shelves get emptied out. And about planning the time of year to come, on to number 4. It is rainy here.
It's a beautiful day right now, but it is so windy and we know a storm is coming in later.
The actual rainy season is from May to November, but it can still be overcast and rainy during the dry season too. And the climate makes your salt clump and causes metal salt shakers to rust. On to number 5. There are so many beautiful beaches here. We were able to walk for miles and miles along the beach with no end in sight, and the water is so warm and blue. Moving on to number 6, language. Spanish is the official language of the Dominican Republic, and unless you're in touristy areas, it will also be pretty much the only language spoken. And the Spanish here is fast. But in Las Terrenas, there are lots of people that stay here for many months from Quebec and other parts of Canada and the US. So we were surprised to find a lot of English and French in addition to Spanish along the beaches. Maybe I should have known this little bit about the history of the Dominican Republic, but I didn't.
We're standing in Christopher Columbus's original landing spot when he first discovered the Americas in 1492.
The north side of the Dominican Republic was the first place Christopher Columbus landed when he found the Americas. Unfortunately, the rest is a sad story of the indigenous peoples being almost completely wiped out and slaves being brought in from Africa. Moving on to number 8, internet. The internet speeds here are quite fast in major areas. I had no trouble conducting video conferences and uploading and downloading large files. The only issue is that the electricity can be quite unreliable. Some homes have battery backups, but in our apartment in Las Terrenas, the electricity often went out several times a day. It was usually only for a few seconds, but it was enough to cause my modem to turn off and then have to reboot. Number 9, getting here. There are major airports in Punta Cana and Santo Domingo. We flew into the smaller airport in Samana, which is only about 30 minutes from Las Terrenas. Though only a few carriers land there, and some people seem to think that it isn't possible to land there at all, which is incorrect. We are also only staying here for 30 days, as that's the limit of the standard tourist visa. Though we do understand that there are easy ways to extend that time if you want to. And speaking of transportation, on to number 10. Getting around Las Terrenas is not easy. Ubers don't operate here, and taxis are individually owned, meaning if you want to ride, you've got to contact an individual driver, and they are not cheap. This wasn't an issue for us in Santo Domingo, though, where there are plenty of Ubers.
Moto taxis are a very common way to get around the towns in Dominican Republic, but be aware, They're very risky because there are lots of accidents and you don't get a helmet.
We avoided using these and opted for cars instead, though sometimes they didn't even have any seatbelts. But if you're looking to try and stay in, then point number 11 is useful. Food delivery is very easy. In Las Terrenas, there is both Pedidos Ya, which is a popular app in many Latin American countries, as well as the local app called Comida. We were able to get reliable and delicious food delivery pretty much anytime we wanted. And grocery delivery is also available. Except during Semana Santa, when the streets get so overrun with traffic that the delivery drivers can't get through, and so the delivery apps just shut down completely. If you're walking around town, the colmados or local corner stores are also everywhere. Here you can pick up some basic food and snacks. And they also serve as informal bars where people can stand around outside to socialize and drink. And our last item is number 12. The fruit and veggies here are excellent. In Las Terrenas, the grocery stores have a wide selection of produce, and you can easily buy local fruits like bananas, mangoes, avocados, and pineapples from the ladies walking down the sidewalks carrying baskets on their heads. Just a quick note. In most Latin American countries, passion fruit is called maracuya. But in the Dominican Republic, passion fruit is a chinola. And that's our list of 12 things to know when visiting Las Terrenas and the Dominican Republic as slow travelers or digital nomads. If you have anything to add to our list, please let us know in the comments, and we will see you in our next video.